What's up, y'all? Today we talking about 5 reasons why Christian men choose the wrong woman. I know y'all want to hear this one, right? It's going to be a banger. Make sure that you stay for the 5th one, for the last one, because the 5th one is definitely one that y'all want to hear. The first reason why Christian men choose the wrong women is because our flesh, our weaknesses, our sinful nature, man. Y'all already know, man. When it comes to us men, man, we are extremely visual and we like what we like, right? In the Bible, it says God took out his rib and replaced it with flesh. And then he created that woman, right? Flesh, right? It replaced it with flesh, not the bone. So now this man has got to go and find what needs to be in that place, right? What actually has to be there. God put flesh there. So as long as flesh is there, you're going to consistently try to fulfill that feeling because something is missing and you got to go and find it. Our flesh. So our flesh, our craving, right? That's like somebody being hungry and real hungry and you can't get to something healthy. You can't get home to get something healthy to eat or to cook it and wait, right? So your flesh is going to cause you to get something fast. Or let's just say something that you haven't had in a long time or something that you never had because you don't know what it is and you don't know how it feels and nobody ever allowed you to see it or know what it is that you need. So now you're consistently going towards what makes you feel good, your flesh, your weakness. And if it's something that makes you feel good all the time, now you're weak to it. So you're going to go to that. And men, we love a woman's body. And men, we love sex, right? As Christian men, if you unmarried, you know that I encourage y'all to be abstinent. But I'm speaking about men in general. We love sex, right? So if we are unaware of the knowledge and the truth of finding a wife or being with this type of woman, then we're going to go to what fulfills us. We're going to go towards what we think is good, not what actually is good. So our flesh and our weakness becomes a leader in our lives when it comes to making choices. So our flesh, our emotion, how we feel, right? To fulfill something is now the leader. It's in the role of leading us to make a choice. So that number one reason, a lot of times, is our flesh as men, our weakness. We choose the wrong woman because we want to feel good, right? She looked good to me. She looks good for my life. She fulfills this thing that I want right now. And she's a woman. In the world goes towards fleshiness. So this man is going to be led by what the world is teaching him and what the world says and how the world looks. So if you see all these fleshy women and it's hard for you to see the other women that you've never seen before, then you got to choose from what you see and from how you feel. So our flesh, our weakness, the things that we want that make us feel good causes it to be hard for us to make the right choice because we're so surrounded with this, right? And let's just say that man got a bunch of fleshy men around him, his environment, and they choose women like that. How he gonna know how to choose another type of woman? Our flesh, man. It's our flesh and our weakness. That's the first reason why Christian men choose the wrong woman, all right? The second reason why Christian men end up choosing the wrong woman is because we're taught to get a wife. I know you're like, what? Taught to get a wife? Or what? No, we're taught to get a wife, but we're not taught of how to find a wife. You understand? Now I'm talking about Christian men. Christian men specifically, right? When you go to the churches, they're not teaching you how to find this wife. They're like, oh, she goes to church, and why are you making her wait? Why do you have to wait long? Everybody's always encouraging Christian men to hurry up and get married, to hurry up and get a wife, but not learning how to teach him how to find a wife. They're pushing him. It's on him, right, to get this wife, but it's not on him to learn how to discern and find a wife, a godly wife. So he's making the wrong choice because he's moving too quickly. He's not letting God lead him. He's not letting the Spirit lead him. He's not letting wisdom lead him. He's not letting spiritual mentors lead him. He's allowing the culture, the nature of our Christian family, of the church basically, because it teaches us to just get a wife, right? And that's, I'm not saying that I did that, but when you look at life, when you look at the Christian church, when you look at how men are and what we're taught, that don't mean I did it, but the church has encouraged me to do that. People in the church have encouraged me to do that, to move quick. This girl can be all types of ways just because she in church, and I can see it too, but you just telling me to get with her? And right, if it's on my image, because a lot of people look at their image when it comes to church or when it comes to having this relationship with God, that causes men to make that wrong decision too. You want to hurry up and get married, but you don't want to learn how to find a woman. You don't want to learn what to find. You don't want to learn what to see. You don't want to learn what a wife is. You just want to get one. You don't even know what a wife's supposed to be. You just think because she in church, well, she's a wife. Or because she's a woman, she's a wife. And that ain't true, right? Because the wife says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. If you got to find her, right, that means not every woman is. Because if every woman was a wife, then it would not be hard to find. That word find would not even be in the Bible. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the second reason, y'all. That's a good second reason, y'all, why it's hard for Christian men to choose the right woman, because we're just taught to get a wife. We're not taught how to find one, all right? The third reason why Christian men choose the wrong woman is because he's not taught to be a husband. Now, what do I mean? He's not taught to be a husband. Because when you're taught how to be something, then you're able to see what you need to see. You're able to see what you're looking for, which is the opposite. Because if you're taught to be a husband, then you'll learn how to find a wife. You'll learn what a wife is. You'll learn what you actually need. You get what I'm saying? Not even if it's not specific to a wife, you learn what a husband needs. Because if you're taught to be a husband, you're taught to protect, you're taught to lead, you're taught to love, you're taught to be there. For who? Who? Because when you are a husband, now you can see a wife. He's not taught. So we're not taught to be husbands like that, right? Nobody teaches us how to be a husband. They teach us to go to church, teach us to read the Bible, right? And then you got broken families. And then you got divorced families. So it's hard to see how to be a husband because they just telling you to go get a wife, thinking that you're going to be a husband when you marry a woman and just make her your wife. But no, this has to be cultivated. No, you need to know the qualities. You need to learn the qualities of being a husband, the characteristics of being a husband. You need to learn what embodies a husband. You get what I'm saying? How God teaches you to be a man following Christ. What you need to do, how you need to keep your word, how you need to be a man of integrity, a man who loves his family, a man who will protect and always be there for his family, a man who wants to communicate. A man who learns himself, a man who pays attention, a man who can look at himself and be corrected, and a man that does correct those in his family, who protects those, who guides those and leads those, not just moves off of how he feels, right? A man who knows who Christ is and know how Christ is. You get what I'm saying? A man who knows how to truly follow Christ with anyone, right? You have to learn to be a husband, not just learn to marry a woman and you become a husband. When you learn and when you're taught and conditioned to be a husband, then guess what? I'm more than sure it'll be easier to see a wife. You get what I'm saying? So that's one reason. And I'm saying that because I'm not going to say that I was really taught to be a husband, but I saw my grandfather in a lot of ways, but he wasn't like specifically telling me like you need to be this and you need to be that. But I saw him in a lot of ways because he was married to my grandma for like, what, 50 something years, 60 something years, something like that, right? So I seen a lot of ways. And my grandfather's a very selfless man, right? A very selfless man, a very God-fearing man, taught me a whole lot, right? Cares a lot. He was there more than anybody in my life and for the family. So I seen a lot of husband qualities and I watched and paid attention. So I might have learned some things, but he didn't like just teach me as I went to how to be a husband, if that makes sense. You get what I'm saying? So we need to learn how to be husbands before we can learn how to find a wife. The fourth reason why Christian men choose the wrong women is because we're not healed. He's not healed And he's not truly close to Christ, right? Because some of us Christians, we just go to church or we just say we Christians, but we not really following Christ. And to be healed, you got to follow Christ. To know yourself, you got to follow Christ. To know how to see, right? Because when you're not healed, you can't see because you're unaware of yourself. So you're blind. So how can you find a wife if you can't see? So a lot of us are walking around blind and deaf because we're not healed and we're not truly following Christ. We're following our flesh. We don't understand ourselves. Nobody taught us. So we end up making the wrong choices, right? How can a blind man lead a blind man? He can't see, right? So I can't see. That's why I keep choosing the wrong thing or the wrong person or the wrong way. You understand? So when I follow Christ, he opens my eyes. He helps me to see better. He leads me in the right direction. He leads me to advisors. He leads me to counsel. He leads me to wisdom, to knowledge, to truth, to self-awareness. He shines the light in the darkness. This is how I become healed. When I follow him, I can see better. I can hear better. I can make better decisions. And it allows me to be able to choose better. You get what I'm saying? Number 5, this is the one I was talking about, y'all. Number 5 is going to be Christian women look like worldly women. Now, I know y'all probably expected me to talk about the man the whole time, but this is also another reason why a Christian man chooses the wrong woman. Because our Christian sisters, our Christian women, our Christ daughters are out here looking like the worldly women. You understand what I'm saying? So when a woman that's supposed to be following Christ, that's supposed to be loving, that's supposed to be caring, that's supposed to be submissive, that's supposed to be understanding, that's supposed to be feminine, that's supposed to be godly, loving, caring, nurturing, sacrificial, following God, modest in her ways, in her choices. If you are not like that, but you are claiming you are a Christian, so you may go to church, you may read your Bible, you may say God may be on your profile, right? We get confused a lot of times, especially if it's an unhealed man or a man who's in the church, or even a godly man might get confused a little bit. It'll be revealed to him, but a lot of times we choose the wrong woman because the Christian sisters look like the worldly sisters. And I say this all the time, right? I changed from being the person that I used to be, running in the street, doing bad things, trying to have sex all the time, trying to be a player, talking to all these different girls, being this way, being that way, acting this way, doing bad things. And I done changed from that person, that worldly side of me. I done changed. And now I done came over to the kingdom side. I done came over to trying to follow God. I done changed. I done been transformed, right? From who I used to be, how I used to speak, how I used to act, where I used to go, the things I used to do. Why would I want a woman that looks the same as the women that I used to go after, that acts the same as the women that I used to go after, right? That looks the same, talks the same, goes those places that I used to go, does the things that I used to do, dresses the way that I used to like, talks the way that I used to like, was sexual the way that I used to like. Why would I want that woman when I'm over here in the kingdom side? And you know what happens? What makes it hard is because there's a girl that claims that she has changed, which more than likely she has gotten transformed, but she's still acting like she on the worldly side, right? She's still dressing like she on the worldly side. So it makes it hard for us to choose, and it also causes us not want to choose, because if we could be a Christian man who's like, nah, she's supposed to be whatever, and she acting just like that. And you know, some people be like, well, she could dress how she want. Why would I want to be with a woman who is the exact same, who dresses the exact same as the women that I used to lust after? Because now that I done changed, I used to have sex. I done changed and now I don't. Now I'm abstaining from sex, right? So that means I have to be attracted and pulled towards things that doesn't pull on my flesh, right? Just like I can't do the things that I used to do that pulled on my flesh. So if that woman and her being half naked pulls on my flesh, and now I didn't change and I don't want to be like that. If I used to go these places with my friends and my cousins and them, and now I done changed and been transformed and it pulled on my flesh, but now I done changed and I don't want that to pull on my flesh, why would I choose this woman who looks, acts, and speak in a lustful, fleshy way that will pull on my flesh? Right now, some Christian men might choose her because she goes to church, but she's still acting that way. But he's choosing her, but she hasn't fully changed yet. She's not fully there yet. Wrong choice, because that's going to pull him back, right? And yes, it go hand in hand, because I know some of y'all over there like, well, the man does it. Yes, but we ain't talking about the men. We talking about the women. This is a reason. This is a reason. This is a real reason why some of us Christian men choose the wrong women. Because some of you Christian ladies, some of my Christian sisters that I love, y'all over here on this side, but you looking and acting and doing the same thing that you was doing on that side. So it's confusing us. Just like y'all get confused with us when we do things that we shouldn't do, we get confused too. You understand what I'm saying? I hope this blessed y'all, man. All truth in this video. Hope this blessed y'all. Hope y'all ain't too mad. I hope y'all understand what I'm saying, because I'm speaking about as brothers, man. I already held them accountable with the other 4 reasons, but this reason right here, man, I'm trying to tell you, man, I'm holding them accountable and I'm letting you see. All right? I love y'all. I'm going to get at y'all when I get at y'all.